What's up, y'all? It's Darian, and welcome back to Friends of Friends, where each episode y'all will essentially sit down and join me and a friend or a friend of a friend to talk people, passions, favorites, and more. And when it comes to episode 2, y'all know I had to go ahead and bring around another friend, naturally. So I want to go ahead and introduce y'all to a friend of mine who originally started off as a work bestie and then became a real bestie. He is an upbeat, hilarious, lovely Libra with a great head of curls and a razor sharp wit. And he's someone who ultimately gives his all in everything that he does. And not even just everything that he does, but everyone that he loves as well. And with that being said, I want to go ahead and give a super warm welcome to my lovely bestie, Will.
Hey y'all.
Hello. I'm so happy that you're able to join us
Thank
today.
you so much for having me.
And I'm so happy to go ahead and get into this.
Yes,
So
let's do
it.
Not the shimmy, a little.
It gave Mavis.
Oh, a little.
Give a look.
Just a little.
Just a little titty. That's fine.
Just a little peek.
So, Will, if you can do me a favor,
Yeah.
can you go ahead and tell everyone the story of how we met?
Yeah.
Because I don't think we've actually talked about
I don't think
this in a
so.
while. I don't think
Yeah.
from your perspective what our origin story actually is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, go ahead.
Let's get into it.
Dish it out. Let's see what's
Featuring
going
Doja
on.
Cat. Yeah. So I think 2019. It was like May-ish because you had just been hired as an RA, and they were like, "Here are your RA mentees for the year. You'll have like 6 of them, blah, 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 blah." And you walked in and you just had like a fabulous aura. You were wearing like the cutest t-shirt and like a high-waisted jean moment. And I was like, oh, hello, like icon. And so, yeah, so we kind of, like had a casual kiki at that moment. We introduced each other. And then flash forward to the beginning of summer, I was working in conference housing, running around doing 10,000 billion shenanigans. And I remember, like, it'd been like a week. So, like we had partaken in the bevies. You know what I mean? Like we had had a kiki, we had had a moment, a happy hour moment. And we met in the elevator, and you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna be on 5th Center," and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be in 5th South, whoa!" And yeah, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be iconic." Like, immediately just had like wavelengths intertwined, and we slayed from there.
I agree. See, I feel like my first moment, I feel like I remember us actually meeting and connecting was at our first meeting as RAs, because we met together. We used to work together in housing for UNLV. We're both RAs or resident assistants. So essentially, in like every movie or TV show, and people who were like the dorm parents, that was us. I was on one side of the floor and Will was on the other side. So like you said, when we had met up for a meeting to meet the entire staff all together, we were going through. I had a very similar impression of you. I was like, "Who is this?"
Oh my
Like
gosh.
upbeat. Like we're out here, just fun, just really trying to bring everybody in and together. Especially, meetings, especially in college, when everybody was like, "So what's the vibe? I don't know anybody in here. What's going on?"
Pew pew.
And you definitely gave it your all to make people feel the most comfortable and feel like themselves, and make sure that people knew this could be a space where they could just be themselves, especially because we have to be the most comfortable that we can with us having to deal with so many other people that are also uncomfortable because they're also going through a new experience. So
Absolutely.
Even if it was just putting on the face, even if you in that moment were just putting on the face, like you said, for the post bevies, then you did it.
We did
it worked well.
And I would like to specifically add, I think you were like, "I'm just getting off of work at Topgolf," and I was like, "Oh, you mean bottom and verse golf as well?" And you jabooled. So I was like, "Okay, ally. She's with the terminology. She's here for it." So
I'm screwing out the ally.
Yeah.
My name is Valentina, and I'm an ally.
Talk, Valentina. Ally.
Wow.
Wow.
What a time.
What a time.
It's
Here
been,
we are 6 years later.
Literally
an international
still locked
pandemic.
Post international pandemic.
Literally.
There's a lot going on.
Shut it down.
We stay together.
I mean, not shut it down, because like it was shut down.
We didn't have to do that part. That was already established.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do much of shutting down. That we're shooting in today is one of my all-time favorite places. It's actually located in Ferguson's downtown, which is essentially a city block, all dedicated to community, supporting local businesses, supporting local artists, community engagement, community outreach. It is a beautiful space, and there are so many great restaurants, shops, tons of different stuff to do here. And we're here today at LV Plant Collective, one of our favorite spots that me and Will have been coming to for quite some time now. I think almost 2.5 years. When we first essentially had come here, we came here to grab some coffee at Mothership.
Not sponsored, but it
Not
could
sponsored,
be.
but it could.
Slide in the DMs.
Y'all might see them soon. Who knows? We always go to Mothership. We grab a coffee. We walk around. We have a kiki. And essentially, Will was looking for a new plant.
Indeed.
Actually, we had just stopped by. We made some little cute bestie charm bracelet, charm necklace, and then came right on by because Will is a plant dad, a great one at that. And I am a plant lover who is too scared to commit to having a plant because I don't want to hurt them. So shout out to my mom who keeps all of our plants alive at our house. Thank you, Mom. But with that being said, since we're talking plants, and since we're talking about this beautiful space and all the really great things that they have to offer, when it comes to your connection to plants, what was your first plant? Okay, was it just like a little succulent or like a little desk plant, or what was it?
So my first plant I got into because of my ex, actually. So he had a lot of plants. And I was like, oh, let me just like try out getting a pothos, right? Because everyone was like, you cannot kill it. It's impossible to kill. And then I went to go get one and I found a snake plant. And I was like, hold on, I love snakes. I think they have really bad PR managers. Side note, I think we should actually be advocating for snake rights and we should not be putting them in the same camp of other dangerous creatures. But I digress. So I got this little snake plant and it is still with me to this day. She's like, sprouted into a couple different forms and maybe they have not lived as long as Sandra the snake plant, but she's still kicking it to this day.
Love Sandra. Is she named after Sandra Oh?
No, I like alliteration.
I was gonna say alliteration station kind of moment. Okay.
SS,
Yes, Sandra the snake plant.
Sandra the snake plant. Indeed.
Do you know how many you have now versus when you started?
Okay, so I've like killed definitely a couple, but I have 36, I think, right now.
Okay.
An active rotation, yeah. The air is crisp,
Yes, it is. 100%.
Indeed.
Corny's in everything good.
He's like,
also
sniff,
great.
sniff.
Also a grant. I can't talk. Also a great plant father. I already said plant father.
Plant father.
An actual dog father.
A dog.
We're already talking about our plant dad, but also a great dog dad as well. Insert picture of Cornelius, the Dr. Cornelius right here. Love of my life. A 100%. Proud TT.
He loves Auntie.
A corgi.
Auntie Dare Bear.
But when it comes to, do you have a most dramatic plant or like a least dramatic plant? Like who's the easiest for maintenance, most difficult for maintenance?
Any of my calathea I am personally at war with at all times. Just because why do you feel the need to just die after not being watered for like 2 days? But I would say that's probably my least favorite plant family. And favorite, my most prized jewel is definitely my Tycon. She's there. Love a good Monstera moment. She's right here. Miss Swiss cheese. So
no, Miss Swiss cheese. I'm nature's favorite snack, which is why they have all the little holes.
We must nibble. Except not Corny. He will die. But it's fine. We do love his house.
So, Will.
Yes.
Now we're at that point where I would love for you to tell the people a little bit more about you.
Ooh.
Like, where are you originally from? How long have you been in Vegas?
Oh, no.
What are some passions of yours? What do you do? Give them a little spiel.
Okay.
Give them the elevator pitch. What are you feeling like?
You're going to make my head even a little bit bigger. The Libra energy. So I was born and raised in Palm Springs, California. Which if you don't know is where Coachella happens, which you have trauma with, which I do validate and recognize. Shout out to Palm Springs. I still have beef with you because of what they did to you. But yeah, I was actually born during a 7.2 earthquake. That was Hecka Center, 20 miles north of Palm Springs. So I'm not saying I came in. I was like, hey, let's shake it up.
Strong start.
100%. Featuring Zendaya and the one that's ADHD/dyslexic. Yeah, right? She's ADHD. Anyway, she I remember her Disney commercial side note where she was like, we're inclusive because I'm dyslexic. And I'm like,
Same thing with Nick Jonas when they were like, I have diabetes.
I thought they were going to die. They said the peanut butter only.
I can't believe you have diabetes.
We must fund the research.
Go stab. Get on that stab.
Right now.
Eradicate type 2. The whole thing.
We will win.
They wanted the whole thing.
We will win the war against type 2.
I think it's type 1.
Yeah, because type 2 is type 1. We will win the war against type 1 diabetes.
The whole thing. The whole backing of a generation was 100%. Like eradicate diabetes.
The 2000s were truly a time. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I am also a dual citizen in Canada, of course. Shout out Canada. not the 51st state, not going to become the 51st state. She is a sovereign nation. But yeah, shout out to her. Yeah, I teach communication at 2 universities. And then I also work in aviation. That's always been my true love. I didn't want to become a pilot because I thought it was a little too mundane, but you
Ooh, I
know,
didn't know that.
yeah, I kind of combined my interests because like I wanted to become an aeronautical engineer, and then I took STEM classes, and I was like, absolutely not doing that math. Calculus, no.
Because it's like to the highest degree, right?
One
We're
hundred
talking
percent
calc 1, 2, 3. We're talking
imaginary, like
physics 1, 2, 3. We're
theoretical
talking
math,
yeah,
like what is a
theoretical
number?
math.
Like
Isn't
what?
math already theoretical?
100%. I'm very confused. We'll ask the STEM majors to evaluate,
We'll
but
ask.
you know,
Get on
you
that.
ask, we investigate. But yeah, that's a little bit about
Oh, well, thank you so much.
me. Yeah,
So I know you're really passionate about aviation.
yeah.
When it comes to what was the earliest memory that you have? Like, were you automatically like a plane kid? Did you start in like the trains, automobiles kind of vibe, and then you were like, but planes, or
Mm.
what was your original connection to aviation?
Yeah, good question. Because I mean, as a homosexual, I feel like every single gay person has a transportation method they're obsessed with. And even though like I was not out at that time because I had no feelings for either gender spectrum, my dad and I used to go and watch the planes take off every day before kindergarten
Oh,
because I would just like randomly cite airplane facts. And he was like, okay, to satiate this, like we'll go watch the planes take off before school. And so since then, I used to make like little most nerdy thing ever, but I used to make little flight schedules and airport schedules
stop.
in elementary school. And I'd be like, hey, do you want to play airport? Like we can like make this departure time and like we can go to like Zimbabwe. I don't know why I knew that about that in 4th grade. She was a geography girl. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of like my origin story and it's just stuck with me all throughout
That
my life.
is literally so wholesome.
Thank
That is actually so
you.
wholesome. What are, let's say, like 1 or 2 big goals that you have for yourself right now? And are there any ways that I could possibly help support you in those? Because
Good
I think I know
question.
one that you're going to talk about. That's a big old one that I'm very excited for.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead and let's talk about it.
I would like to say, number one, if you can help me with a down payment for the current interest rates, you know, the royalties from this podcast, let me know because we are, you know, trying to buy a little property.
Discover did just up my credit limit.
Okay.
By 5K.
So, you know, we'll be in contact. I'll give you the routing numbers. You know, just a little down payment for a house.
We can figure that out.
You know, we can make it happen.
We can do something.
Rebels make it happen. Must clock out. Must clock out. But yeah, so I think that's like kind of a back burner goal for right now because again, like economic conditions, of course. But I would say the immediate goal is doing my doctorate in aviation science and essentially going into crash safety and looking at some of the work that I did in my master's, which was in communication studies, and continuing the work of looking at where communication discrepancies lead to large-scale aviation incidents. So you saw like Nathan Fielder's season 2 of The Rehearsal. That's pretty much my entire research area is into like CRM, TRM, looking at what can we do to make the sky safer.
I love that.
Thank you.
That also just gave me. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
I did not.
You
Is it
never watched
good?
Breaking Bad?
I might need to add it to the list, I guess.
I think you do.
Okay.
I feel like you would actually really like it.
I'm just starting Sex in the City. So to be fair,
2 very different vibes,
you
but I
know.
feel like you would appreciate them for 2 very different
I'm just such a like, I know it's about math, right?
Yeah,
they're
it's the one
making a
about
little
math.
a little drug, yeah.
A little
it's
drug.
not a little drug because it's math,
Instead of
but
weed
you
drug.
know.
What are like your friendship green flags or things that you look for when you're thinking about taking the next step of friendship with someone, of having a friendship
Ooh.
actually make it out of the workplace
100%.
to like real friendship status?
Ooh, such a deep question because I mean, I want to cite all of the communication research and all of the scholarly stuff that is going on. Specifically, Dr. Pennington, who was my department grad coordinator, she does a lot of friendship and communication research. So she can go on for all of the scientific values and the communication research side of that. So I will probably butcher a lot of this, but I will say I am very much an extrovert, much like I would say you are. And not to say that social battery is not real, but I think I look for open communication and transparency in authenticity. So looking at what is this person communicating to me in the moment and building off that energy. If it's very much a transactional A to B conversation, but not B to A, that might be more of a yellow to red flag. Not an immediate red flag off the jump,
but over time, seeing if those are consistently the conversations that you're having.
Exactly. And seeing like, where is the body language? Like, is this person closed off? Is that because they're uncomfortable with me? Because I'm going to say, like, I'm very much, it's that me espresso, like, Sabrina Carpenter coming through, like, espresso is not for everyone, or cold brew is not for everyone, right? We're all our own different shades of person and our own different personalities. So sometimes that doesn't jive with the other person. So looking at, is this person uncomfortable because of me, or are they just more of an introvert? And how do I kind of ease off the excitement that I have, because I get energy off of others, right? And that's what refills my so-called cup, if you will, in my relationships.
No, definitely. I 100% where you're coming from, especially with, I feel like that also drew me to you in terms of the way we approach people, and relationships is very similar. Both definitely givers, recovering 100%. People pleasers, and really wanting to know that that love is reciprocated. I feel like I've never had to feel like I'm working for our friendship. It always has felt very evenly yoked in that way. I always like to call Will my sugar friend, like fully, just because he just spoils me in terms of like always like checking in, grabbing me coffees, making sure I'm okay. If he knows I'm having more of a shitty day, just like really doing what he can to pour back into me. And I'm not saying a lot of my friends don't do that, but I feel like in our relationship, I feel really seen in that way and like taken care of in a way that I don't get a lot per se in relationships, especially without having to ask for it. Like you just do it naturally because you're such a giving person. And I want to thank you for that, because again, it's definitely, I know you feel similarly. When you're so used to giving, it's just a part of you, but then being able to have it reciprocated again without that expectation, without having to ask, is something that just is just like, oh, like it's really just a breath of fresh air. And our friendship in particular really, I said, makes me feel seen. It makes me feel loved and very cared for, and also spoiled, because I'm like, why never have to ask, like, oh yeah, you want to get dinner tomorrow, right now, on me?
Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that. And I feel very much the same. Like every single moment with you is a treat, always a dream. We always have the best kikis. So I feel like for me, like even if it feels like we are both filling each other's cups at the same time, if you will. Like it's never a transaction with me, because I know you're going to give me the next time. And like we just continue the cycle forever and ever. And now here we are, like 15 years later. I can't believe we're legal.
Sorry, I don't have any. I'm a little baby. I'm a baby. I have no money. I can pay you in block.
What are you talking about the way the time is going?
Lake Como. We're hopping across the pond.
We're already there.
Hello.
We're already there.
Bonjour.
I'm in Amsterdam. That's a whole different thing. We're also trying to figure out where we're going on 2026
bestie trip. I vote. You already have my vote.
Is our top? Mine is Amsterdam. Personally.
I'm down for Amsterdam because they have boats. Like, what's going on?
They do have boats. Boat restaurants.
And like, why are the buildings not straight? I have questions.
The buildings aren't straight. So many museums.
Why are there so many bikes?
A lot of bikes.
Several
Walkable
yikes.
cities.
On
Several
bikes.
yikes.
And the walkability.
Yikes on bikes.
Yikes on bikes.
We can take a hike.
Let's do it. Through the countryside. I honestly don't know what country Amsterdam's in. Is it a country? No, it's in the Netherlands.
Yeah, Amsterdam is in the Netherlands. Is the capital.
Master's degree, but does not know geography.
Wait, history?
Tap it.
Geography. Oh, see, it's no. It's just getting
worse. We're not even STEM majors. We're not STEM majors. It's fine.
Both between the two of us, we have several degrees.
100%.
I promise you, we actually
100%.
do. But when we come together, it's a singular shared brain cell.
Just one. Not like the chromosome that just like is like that. It's just one of them days.
It's just one of them days.
Are you SZA?
I was just gonna say. Oh no!
Oh no!
I can't.
Am I Kiki? Oh no! I can't be.
I feel like we're both Kiki.
100%. 100%.
Because neither of us are SZA that way.
I'm actually the one that's laughing at the credit score. That's me.
Attention. Now we're just talking.
No, we're just.
But what else is new? As a newer Vegas local, I feel like out of anybody I know, really, you're definitely one of the first people I think of that's really like embraced Vegas as being home and really trying to invest in it as much as it's investing in you in that way of like the opportunities that you've been taking, starting at UNLV and working so much on campus, being so involved in student affairs, just in your programs and things like that. Overall, do you believe Vegas has a really strong sense of community? And has that changed the longer that you've been here? Has it shifted through different communities that you're now a part of? Did it really start sinking in once you left school or weren't a student at that time because now you're an instructor? But has your idea of Vegas and community shifted?
100%. I mean, I'm not saying you should apply to be Barbara Walters with these hard hitting questions, but I mean, very, very good question. So I will say I moved here in 2017, right? So specifically August 16, 2017. And I will say it was a bit of an adjustment. I mean, desert to desert situation, environment. Already knew, like, as a pasty white person, we're going to be putting on 17 pounds of sunscreen every single day. I'm not trying to look like a leather bag in 2 years, but there was that element, right? So I was like, okay, I kind of like know what the environment is going to be like. And I was completely wrong, right? Because also coming from a vacation heavy city to high touristy location, I was like, I already know the flow, I already know the vibes, the population. And I think my perception was, okay, the strip is here, that's a whole thing, but then what's going on outside of the strip? And the city has grown so much, I mean, even since when I came here in 2017. And we'll also say the shooting happening on October 1st, that was my first semester of college. And so that was also a bit of a culture shock just because obviously it was the largest mass shooting in US history. But the really cool part was, okay, I'm going to go donate blood, right? And I'm going to go after working at 3 o'clock in the morning, the day of that shooting, I'm going to like go help out the community center, whatever I can do, right? And getting there and taking the bus, which absolutely not. You need a car here. Learn that the hard way.
You do need a car.
Shout out to Annalise Altima, my one true love, my first car.
Yes, Annalise.
RIP. But all of that to say, going to go donate blood and give community resources and being met with a 16 to 17 hour line because they have so many people that have lined up, I thought that was my first real introduction into, okay, there's so many people here that are so cool and so willing to give. And that was a different sentiment than where I grew up. Because again, high touristy location, there's a lot of geriatric folks, retiree population, a lot of folks that are down for philanthropy because they're at that stage of their life. So a different mindset than here where everyone is working together and kind of collectivistic. And I will say the anti-California rhetoric, hello, we need to slow down there, okay? Because I think the really cool part about seeing specifically post-2020 is how much the population has grown and how there has a similar story of just looking for a new start and looking for a new pathway to whatever they have going on. And I think you have such diversity in terms of not only folks in different personalities and identities, but you have diversity in terms of origin of self and what they're doing for their career. I mean, how cool is it that you have a circus performer who's also doing their PhD and they're doing research on pain, or you have your hospitality folks that are like, no, I am just going to be a little angry capitalist, and I'm really proud of that. Like, no tea, no shade towards them. Not projecting any views on there because I don't want your podcast to get canceled.
That was a direct
episode 2
hate towards the ops.
I mean,
the hospitality ops like are really
no tea, no shade. I do love my hospitality friends. Don't get me wrong. You make the world work for that. But I think there's a lot of really cool things going on here in Vegas as a nucleus for different alternative pathways than that of the culture of like LA or the culture of New York or other major metropolitan areas that have other really cool artists that are doing stuff. Here it's a microcosm of different things.
I really like the way that you put that, the idea of pathways, how Vegas is so many different places lead to Las Vegas. And for so long, a lot of those pathways are the ones that are most notable are, of course, hospitality, entertainment, the idea of giving to people. And I feel like that's something that is always so, a lot of people can't really understand the gravity of it or the impact that specifically 10-1 had on the city of Las Vegas when it came to, there's always been so much to be given here because again, we are a service-based city. So in terms of the people that are so used to being givers, that are so used to being catalysts of connection for people and trying to bring experiences to people, that passion doesn't stop in the workplace. It just needed another place to go. It needed another medium. And when it came down to such like a devastating loss and something that a lot of people after it first happened were like, how is Vegas going to respond to this? Vegas is not a place known for its people, even though we are known for its people. In terms of Vegas being the entertainment capital of the world, that didn't just come to be for no reason. And like you said, post 10-1, post 2020, the fact that we're back on the up and up and on so many people's radars for so many different reasons now, like I said, creating new pathways to the city is something that's really, really cool and exciting to see. Because, of course, again, growing up here, the pathways were the same, right? They were the expected pathways, and the opportunities here seemed very cut and dry. It is so nice to be able to hear somebody from an outside perspective that is relatively new being here, being able to see that shift and experience it firsthand is really refreshing to hear. Because like I said, I feel like you're also someone who actively seeks out community. You want to find your people. You want to be able to give back. You want to be able to connect with others in different ways. So hearing that from you is, like I said, it makes me so happy to hear. It makes me very happy to hear. I've known people my entire life who are insanely talented, like ridiculously talented people that just have so much to offer the world and have so many stories to share with others, that have had to leave to be able to seek out these opportunities, to be able to really make their dreams a reality. And now the tide is kind of shifting a bit, where Vegas is starting to get the visibility and get the support that it needs to start really uplifting different pathways, uplifting different stories of ours, to let people know, like, hey, you don't need to leave if you're from here, from people like me. But really starting to bring in other people of, you don't need to stay where you're at. You can start over. This can be a place for your new beginning. And it can feel really similar to a lot of other places that you've may been. LA is another one. I always felt like when I went to LA growing up, it felt like home. But what home could be in that way, if Vegas really pushed onto the scale and started investing into especially the arts, how fast we could take off. And when it comes to the communities that you hold or spaces that you're interested in, are there any places or things that you would like to see highlighted, or things that you would like to lead into that you just feel like, oh, I don't even know where to go for that, or I've tried certain resources or certain spaces like this and they just didn't resonate with me? Are there any kind of things like that where you want to step into that you just feel like you haven't connected with quite yet?
100%. I think we've talked about me being aggressively single for quite some time. And I will say that perhaps is the largest drawback that I've seen here is just the dating scene for younger folks. I think mostly because we're so car dependent here, it is a little bit harder to navigate that aspect. So, I mean, if you're single as a Pringle and you vibe, let me know, slide in the DMs. Hello, bonjour, como se va? But I will say that is what I'm more looking to tap into, because so many friends, so many connective relatives that have now sprung out of that community of friends, and what I would consider like my family, of course. But in terms of finding a secure partner, a long-term partner that's not just here for the weekend or the week, that's more of my next aim, and finding that point of stability. Because I mean, it is fun being a single Pringle, but also at the same time, Corny can only cuddle with me for so long before he's like, I need another human. So,
is it so?
You know.
What are we doing?
Right. Like, what are we doing here?
Okay. That's really okay. I'm trying to think, because I definitely would agree. Because again, Vegas is not known for wanting to build a home or a life in terms of finding a life partner, right? That is something I feel like still stands. Still definitely stands. And I feel like it is definitely more of a challenge to be able to find a long-term partner here, because like you said, a lot of people who do come here are coming here for a new beginning, and with new beginnings, sometimes starts in those states of solace of like, I really need to be by myself. I need to only experience relationships or intimate relationships in this capacity, right? Or
100%.
different things like that. So honestly, that's a really good one. Please
Let us know. Let us know.
Especially because I know certain places do like speed dating events and things like that, but those aren't always the places where you feel like meeting people is the most organic. But just being able to find different spaces where you can find people, you know what I mean? To be able to just like kiki with and feel comfortable with, and not just have it be a restaurant or a bar or this. So definitely, 100%. For all my single Pringles, I'm gonna lock in for y'all. I'm gonna do some research on this and try to start finding some different events or spaces that really try to gear towards helping people find their people. Right?
That was good. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that could be. Are we putting it on a mug? Are we gonna whip out the cricket?
Let me know. Not people finding people. Not friends of friends.
Not friends of friends.
Not
Is
us
that the
hosting a
tagline of the
speed dating.
podcast? I think we should do it. We should do it here. How fun! Because you walk away with a plant and a new lover.
and a new lover.
Consensually. Consent is as easy on T.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's a great video. I reference that all the time. Actually, I think of it. Not wholly. In terms of
we reference consent a lot. The T. I have to clock out. Consent.
Consent. Y'all, it's about that time. It's time to wrap up the second episode of Friends of Friends. And with that, Will, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you were able to come today, especially at a place that means so much to us, where you have so many fun memories. Also, thank you so much to Carissa, the best, the sweetest. Please, 100% y'all, come downtown, come to Ferguson's. Please come by to LB Plant Collective and say hi to Carissa. She is the absolute sweetest. Her space is incredible. It's beautiful. Grab a little something for yourself, a new little plant friend for your house, your apartment, your space. Grab something for a housewarming. Grab yourself a little goodie, a candle. They have it all. So please, 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 as always, shop small, shop local. We love to see it. And everyone who watched, thank you so much again for joining me on this new journey. I feel like I'm already learning so much. I feel like on this episode specifically, I feel like I learned so much. We talk all the time, and I feel like I haven't learned more about your journey and kind of like your start in aviation and your path. Yeah, I'm very excited to keep continuing this journey, and ultimately join me next episode to go ahead and sit down with me, another friend, another great space, and more talks about connection and community, and ultimately how it can all start with a friend of a friend. With that, have a good one, y'all. Bye, friends.